Welcome, everybody. This is Fran and Sue bringing you one of the most exciting things that I have ever been a part of in my professional career, artificial intelligence. We're calling it Artificial Intelligence or AI Disruption Alpha version. Sue, welcome. I'm very excited about this product and project that we're embarking on.
Yeah, thanks, Fran. I am so stoked about this. I think this is the most exciting thing I have ever done. So let's just talk for a moment about where we're at today with artificial intelligence. Right now, just over half of the marketers are currently implementing artificial intelligence in what they do, and an additional 27% are expected to incorporate this technology by next year, 2019. This is according to Salesforce. This represents the highest anticipated year-over-year growth of any leading technology that marketers expect to adopt in the next year, beating out Internet of Things, marketing automation, all of the other stuff. So for me, what makes this exciting personally, I mean, as you guys probably know, my company is called the Semantic Revolution, and that's because at the time, 10 years ago, it seemed like true artificial intelligence was so far off. But what I've seen developing in just the last 30 days has astounded me. So, for example, Google's Deep Brain, which they're always improving, has just recently this month made a jump to be able to map cognitive spatial concepts, in other words, how to navigate through a maze in exactly the same way that the human brain does. So this takes the deep brain and artificial intelligence into a whole new realm, because up until now, the only thing that computers were better at than people was stuff that was math oriented, like chess and any kind of mathematical games, identifying faces based on so many points in the face, and those kinds of things. But this cognitive awareness of concepts, or the mapping of spatial concepts, that's a whole different kettle of fish. So then there's also dating bots and Google Voice, which has passed the Turing test, essentially, not literally, but in conversations with people, people have not been aware of the fact that they're actually talking to a robot. So to the point where this is coming into a huge controversy, and people are saying that these bots must now identify themselves. They are freaked out because it is so intuitive. It is so natural sounding. Even all of the little nuances of human speeches, the mm-hms and all of that. Like, it's just so incredible. We're going to have in the members area, we've got some videos that you can listen to. I'm blown away. We've got new AI content generators that are supposedly as good as the ones created by human beings. I'm reading some of these test articles, and I am completely stoked. It is every bit as good. It's not like the lame stuff with the occasional English grammatical error that I've seen before. Like, this is quality stuff. It holds a thread. It's from the beginning of the article to the end of the article. It makes points. It's quality content. And then in the midst of all of this, we've got artificial intelligence social bots, which are engaging visitors at new levels. And I expect that to get even better as the information from Google Voice and Deep Brain start to trickle down into other avenues of programming. We've got new artificial emails that track nuances of recipient behavior, such as what time of day they actually open the email, and then they adjust on a person by person basis so that every person gets their email delivered to them, and all of the little nuances that it's tracking. It adjusts all those things to make it more probable for that person to be able to see the email, to open the email, to respond to it. We have new artificial intelligence research assistants that help you stay focused and productive. Some of those are so cool. Oh my gosh. And then Amazon Alexa, which I know you guys are familiar with because I talk about it all the time. And they have just implemented buy buttons, both for subscriptions as well as for one-off purchases. So it's been a really juicy month for me on the artificial intelligence side. And so we looked at all of this and at where this is taking marketing, and Fran and I said, we got to do something with this. We got to, so like 10 years ago when I started Theme Zoom and we moved into Network Empire, like the thing that we were trying to do at that point in time, like social media was just coming on the scene, and there were all of these things, like it was getting harder to rank on the search engines, and so it was like, how do you make sense out of all of this new technology? How do you bring all of this stuff together so that there's a coherent plan, so that you know what it is that you're supposed to do when you sit down and do your marketing? And this artificial intelligence brings another whole new wave of, how am I supposed to deal with this? How do I integrate this? This is amazing information. How do I make my marketing more spectacular? It's now so, you can personalize your marketing to such an nth degree, and what is coming so close is completely personalized marketing. That's like, what was the movie we were talking about the other day, Fran? The one with Tom Cruise?
The Tom Cruise movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, the where the ads are flying by. What is that, guys?
Oh shoot! I didn't mean to like.
The other one. It's okay. Everybody knows what it is. Just Google it.
Yeah, right. So it's like that. It is so like the future 100 years from now.
Whatever that pre-crime movie that he was in, Minority Report.
Minority Report. That's it. It's so like 2200 here today. So yeah, that's the background. So what kind of an impact is this going to have on where people are at today when you start to look at how much of marketing can actually be automated? It's scary, right? Because if we can automate all of the social media, if we can automate all of the you're going to
all that, yeah, just everything business related.
Yeah. So in this study by Oxford University, they were looking at what they anticipate over the next few years artificial intelligence is going to, the jobs that it's going to eliminate. And the thing that gets really scary is, if you look here, you've got sales and related, which is down here on like one of the biggest blocks of jobs that are going to get automated. They're going to get
totally
eliminated,
disrupted, yeah.
right? Totally disrupted. So what we're here to do today is to bring you an idea of, bring you that beginning platform that's going to help you bridge this gap and get out in front of, because we're always about the bleeding edge, right? Get out in front of this. So it's because marketers just feel completely unprepared. Like the folks that I have talked to, between the rapid pace of innovation and all of the new stuff that's hitting the market, and it's like, how do I stay on top of it? Folks were already having problems staying on top of it, and this is making it exponentially worse. And not only that, but marketing executives, 34% of marketing executives feel the most unprepared for artificial intelligence out of all of the things that are on the horizon. So how to be prepared and how to implement that is the problem that we are here to solve today. In the midst of that, what we're going to do is transform you guys from being reactive to being disruptive. Artificial intelligence is here. It's already going to make that shift, and we want you guys to be on the crest of that. The result that you're going to have is a fully integrated artificial intelligent platform that provides a predictive marketing solution that allows you to sell outcomes. This is different. I guarantee this is different from how you're selling today. So I want to stop right there and say, like, this is so disruptive. This is so incredibly different. I want you to put aside how you're thinking about your business today as we move through the rest of these slides. Whoever your clients are, however it is that you've been selling before, whatever it is that you've been doing, just put that on the shelf, because in a minute it's going to be completely outdated. And so what we're going to show you today is a completely new way to market, or a completely new way to think about marketing, and bring you something that you can use either for yourself or for your clients to get in on the dawn of this new era. So what exactly is it that we're doing? We're making the best use and extracting the ROI from AI team to participate in what we build. We're building this for ourselves to use, and we're inviting you into our workshop, into our work area. This is the biggest bang alpha that, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, Sue. Sorry. Yeah, you were just so excited. I think you covered a whole lot of this. So the thing that we're doing is the community part of what we're doing is making the best use and extracting the ROI from the artificial intelligence so that you guys can just plug and play, right? You can just jump in because we're going to go out there and find the things that are working. And we're actually doing this. In the last few years, actually it's been almost 5 years now, because this has been, over a couple of years, it's been getting to different levels of, retargeting was the biggest thing a couple of years ago, right? A few years ago. It was the best thing since marketing, actually, where you could follow people around. Everybody knows about retargeting. So that was sort of the beginning of smarter, intelligent marketing. But as time has passed and smarter technology has been developing smarter technology, we're here with more information than we could possibly process. So that's what we're all, we're inviting you guys to come inside with us, and we're going to bring the information to you that you need to know and a way for you to be able to use it. And the alpha offering that we're bringing to you today is like, I don't know, what would you say, Sue? The biggest bang alpha offering. I mean, I didn't know what else to say about that, except it's the most incredible thing that we've been playing with in a really, really long time. So
definitely. So what is the product? Let's talk about that for a second. We've got two parts that we're offering today. All right. So the first part is the core. It's a dashboard. It's our workshops. It's our collaboration and our training. And the second part is our first strategic partner who's bringing to the table two different products. So the dashboard, like as I looked around, the thing that I saw that really needed to happen is we need a singular space where we can bring all of the tools that we need to use as we enter this new paradigm. And there's going to be a few things that we're going to pull in from the old paradigm, like keywords and competitive analysis, but there's all of this new AI technology that I just talked about a few minutes ago. So we need a centralized location. Like the thing that drives me bonkers when I'm trying to do fulfillment for a client is for each client I've got a dozen tabs open, right? And I'm like da 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 da, and then outsourcer here, outsourcer there, and did this get done in the day? I'm like, we need one place. We need a centralized thing. So that is the ultimate goal. This dashboard completely fleshed out with all of the strategic partners that we're going to bring in and populate this with, and you guys get to help us craft that with, if you see something that we're not doing, if there's a way to make this easier, like I want this to be simple and slick. So never mind all of that. The first strategic partner with the two products that he's bringing with us today, like it's the price of this product it's worth just the first strategic partner alone. So we have that. That's here today, and over the course of the next 60 days, we're going to roll out all of the other apps and tools integrations. Anything you want to add to that, Fran?
Just that I can't even say enough about, I mean, we're going to get into it in complete detail, but I can't even say enough about how, I mean, we chose to roll this out intentionally with this partner, obviously, but it's such a big shift in the marketplace that the people who, and I know we're talking about this in the next slides, but anybody who's not using this technology is literally going to be probably out of business. So it's that big and that important. So guys, just like Sue said, keep an open mind. Your entire way of doing business may just be a little bit different after what we're talking about today.
After today. All right. Go ahead.
Well, again, I mean, that's what we've just been talking about. The businesses who are using, not just you guys, but the businesses, the local businesses that you work for, that your clients, if they do not use this technology and their competitors do, they're not going to be around very much longer, because literally this technology will allow them to dominate their niche in wherever their geo is without there's not even a question. They can beat their competitor on every aspect of cost, of creativity, of the actual the speed at which they can get to the market.
They can literally find their clients before their clients are even completely aware of the fact that they're looking for them. So you can get them at the very beginning of the buyer journey.
Yeah, and guys, these are big claims, but we have a ton of proof in here, and we're going to get to all of it.
Yep. So I said in the email that nobody else is offering this, right? But on the webinar, when we did the webinar, all the way through, people were saying, oh, this is like this, this is like this, this is like this. So let me just take a minute and let us talk to you for a second about what this is not, so that you don't think that this is some rehashed version of retargeting or customer segmentation. Do you want to wax eloquent here, Fran?
Yeah, just guys, this is some of the language is going to sound very similar to some of the things like we've had a bunch of people get on the phone with us even after that long webinar and ask us questions about how is this different from what I'm doing here with my Google display advertising. How is this different from me just running pay-per-click ads? Just keep your mind open, because it's none of these things. We will use some of those tools, but in an incredibly different way. That is, the results are like, literally, we could tell you that if you've got a client who runs Facebook advertising, for example, and they're really, really good at it, you could safely walk up to them and say, I know I can save you between 25 and 70% on the campaign that you're running right now, and you can do it.
So, who this is for? As we said a few minutes ago, you have to be willing to understand that this is a brand new concept, that you haven't heard this before, and hang in through this video at least until you understand why it's different. So I think the rest of it, like we've sort of said, this is not a gimmick. This is not an I am mindset. This is not something that you're going to have to go out and sell. All you have to do is explain this to people and watch the light bulb go on and say, okay, sign me up. So what can it do? As we said, this is probably going to change your business model, and it will definitely change your income level. You can walk into businesses, bigger businesses than what you're probably currently talking to, and get their attention. We've got hands-free fulfillment. It doesn't require any selling, just explaining. And the other thing that I want to say is this is also completely possible for you to use for your own business, particularly if you're not in the I'll get to that. So like just it's not even the fact that you have to go out and sell somebody else, but we'll get to that in a bit, okay?
There's plenty of ways. Yeah, there's plenty of ways to use this other than selling to local marketers, but it's so easy for us to explain in that modality. So just hang on, guys. There's something here.
All right. So what is it? Let's talk about machine learning for a second. So I don't want to get too technical with this. So rather than try to actually go through this slide, let me just talk hypothetical here for a second. Let's say that everybody does actions, right? You sit down at your computer in the morning, you open Skype, you open your email, you open a couple tabs in your browser, you look at some stuff you were doing the night before, and you just start doing stuff, right? So let's say that all of the yellow steps, that's one person. All of the purple steps is a different person. We'll call the yellow ones Sally. We'll call the purple ones John. We'll call the orange ones Sam. I'm not going to remember that in a second, but that'll be okay. So Sally's going about.
I remember that.
What's that?
It's okay.
So Sally's going about her business.
I said, I hope you remember that. I was saying the same thing you were.
Sally's going about her business, and she's actually in market for a car, right? So she's going through and doing all of the things that she's doing through the day. And John is also in market for the car, but he's doing different things, right? He's doing the first 12 things he does in a day are different things. And over the course of time, over the course of the purchase of the buying cycle of the car, which is typically about 4 months, you're going to have these three people, all three of them in market for a car, but they're doing different things at different points in time, as the course of your day will take you, right? So this slide indicates that Sally is going to do a keyword search. She's going to do a Google search. Let's say she does a Google search for something like the Mazda car that she's after, or she does a keyword search for Kelley Blue Book, or she does a keyword search for something like that. And then at some point in time, John is coming along. He's going to do the same keyword search, because when you're searching for a car, everybody does similar sorts of things, right? So you're going to find, as you look across a selection of people, as you look across, let's say, 100 people, you're going to start to see significantly important actions that those people do during the course of purchasing a car. You're going to see that the same 30, 40, 50 things pretty much everybody does. And when you look a little bit broader than that, you'll see maybe 200 actions that are extremely similar that they're all doing. And when I say extremely similar, this is like variations on a keyword, different URLs on the same website, those sorts of things. So with artificial intelligence, it can look at those 100 people as a core sample, and it can determine what the statistically important things are that led to that purchase. And Sally might be interested in rock climbing, but John isn't interested in rock climbing, and Sam isn't interested in rock climbing. So that sort of stuff is going to fall out. It's not statistically relevant. These are not things that everybody is doing when they're shopping for a car. When I say everybody, I'm talking about those 100 people that we had as a sample set. So when you get 500 people, or when you get 1,000 people, the artificial intelligence can learn even better about what things are statistically important and what should be chaff and fall away. And what happens under those conditions is that things that are less common, that wouldn't be found in a sample set of 3 or a sample set of 100, get found in a sample set of 1,000. So it becomes more intelligent. It sharpens its blade even more and goes, oh, wow, look, this person is starting to demonstrate those behaviors that indicate that they're on the market for a car. So you can catch them earlier in the buying cycle, and you can catch more of them in the buying cycle. So it takes about 90 days for our artificial intelligence to really sharpen its blade for your product or service. Trying to remember what my next. Oh yeah. So then at that point, it understands exactly what the paths to purchase are. It understands all of the behaviors. It understands the predictive analysis behind each behavior. In other words, everybody always goes to Kelley Blue Book, or 90% of the people go to Kelley Blue Book, and 2 or 3% of the people go to I'm trying to think of some really obscure car, like
Alfa Romeo or something.
Yeah, something like that. And people who go to Ferrari and are in an income level of less than $200,000 a year are not going to actually purchase the Ferrari, right? So it becomes more intelligent about all of those things until it finally hones down and goes, okay, I know who you are. I know what you're doing. I know why you're looking at the places that you're looking.
You guys think that's scary, or you think it's cool?
Or both. It depends on which side of the table you sit on, right? So right now, and this is a real example of big data, we're tracking 252 million adult Americans. And we're tracking over 15 billion data points daily. I'm going to
So guys, that means that I'm sorry, I wasn't letting it sit. I have, what, 4 or 5 regular emails that I use and check all the time. So the 252 million adult Americans are individual people. That's why there's so many, I mean, besides all the activity and the things and the devices, that's why there's so many data points. You've got all these emails, you've got a phone, a tablet, a computer, a laptop, a desktop maybe. You've got devices. I mean, there's anything that has sensors, right, is a device, and you may interact with it somehow, like your Alexa chick or, your iRobot. And we can see it all.
All right, so no plan B required.
Yeah, so this is, guys, if you really get this, what this is, and what you've got at your fingertips, it's not, you're not, and the reason I said this is because everybody's always looking for that one thing that's going to give them their stability, or what's this latest, greatest thing that's coming out in the IM world? Do I need to have that? Do I need to have this? Am I going to need this? Or everybody else going to be selling this and I'm not going to have it? This is not simply about planning for the future, for contingencies, for what might happen. The reality is artificial intelligence in the marketplace is already here. And if you're not using AI-driven behavioral targeting that allows you to reach your prospects all along that entire buyer's journey in your vertical, you are already behind the curve because we're doing it. And
So
when you see the speed of
go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just going to say the speed of change is, you said exponential earlier. The speed of adoption in the marketplace is going to be extremely fast.
So, plan Bs. I mean, I want you guys to really think about this for a second. If you know all of the people who are in market for your product or service, and you know that you can get in front of those people with an offer, where does SEO have to fit into this picture? I'm not saying that, just because somebody's ranked at the top of page 1 for their primary keyword, they should abandon that and walk into this. I'm just saying they're ranked number 1 today for their primary keyword, and the next time Google does an update and they're no longer on page 1, they don't have to worry because they can still get in front of all of the people who are in market for their product or service. Right? Now, as you guys know, I've been doing SEO for the last 6 months or so. Like, I've been hardcore into SEO. And I tell you what, every time a new update comes out, it shakes all of my clients. Some of them only fall off the front page for a day or two, but some of them are gone for a week until I figure out what the heck is going on and get them back up, right? It is a constant, fiddly thing. It's no longer, 10 years ago it wasn't easy, but today it is like a pain in the backside. This makes...
And besides the technology and the algorithm changes being a pain, the actual, I'm not sure how I want to say this. I think we're talking about it later, so I'm hesitating because I don't want to bring it up, but let's just go on. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Let's go on to the next.
All right. So sexy and smart. Well, our technology is super sexy. Woohoo!
Kind of like us. Oh, and the smart part, kind of like us.
What's important is it gives us the ability to lower costs, charge premium prices, or both. So let's just look at that for a second. Lowering costs. If you know who these people are, if you've got a list of who these people are who are in market, you can take that list, you can import it into Facebook, and you can do it cheaper, cost per click, than you would if you were telling Facebook, hey, build me an audience. Right? You can get those ads in front of those people for a fraction of the price. Plus, instead of trying to tweak out behaviors and use your pixels to get smart, this is going to be much smarter, much faster, and infinitely more accurate. You're going to have you're going to be able to identify the needles immediately at an extremely low cost.
So guys, needles rather than haystack, right? So we're going to get to this again, but right now the way we market is we market to everybody in whatever our demographic is that we can create. And yeah, Facebook is cool. You can do a lot of really cool targeting with Facebook. I mean, we'll show you how we still use Facebook to make it infinitely more powerful than it is right now the way anyone's using it. That's why I can say in that example, if you've got a client who's really good at Facebook advertising and you can walk in with this in-market targeted lead list and give it to them and say, hey, market to these guys the exact same way that you're marketing to your list that you built in Facebook. Build a lookalike audience off of this list and see what it looks like. And we've got a whole bunch of case studies to show you how impactful this is.
So, our alpha strategic partner, product number 1, in-market targeted leads.
I've already been spilling a whole bunch about it.
Yeah, sorry about that. I might have gotten a little bit ahead of myself.
So guys, in any market, in any consumer market, it doesn't matter what it is, at any given time, only 3% of the people of the market are actually ready to buy. So what we're able to do is eliminate the 97% that are not in market. So yeah, we've got all these people that fit our demographics right now, and someday they're going to be interested. But in Sue's car buying example, just because my car is 4 years old and it's got X amount of miles on it, or my lease is up, it doesn't mean that I'm in the market for another car. Your behavior online will identify whether you're in market. So instead of advertising to everybody who should be in market, we're advertising to the ones that actually are. This is just crazy. And the reason we know, Sue's already touched on it, we're targeting based on real-time behaviors, what you're searching for online, what websites you're visiting, what content you're consuming, what you're reading, what kind of campaign response you have. Are you filling out forms somewhere? Are you requesting information from anybody? We can see exactly what's happening and identify if those behaviors are related to what your customer sells. And that's how they build a profile of people who are actually in market, the 3%. So the beauty about this is that once we build this in-market targeted list, it's yours. You own and control it. So again, when people get confused about what's the difference about this in retargeting, why is this list different than anybody else who's selling leads? We heard a lot of people asking about this. When you buy those leads, first of all, you don't know where the heck they came from. And if you're generating leads off of a click from some kind of a lead capture page, okay, that's great. They're in market because they clicked on your ad, but we knew that they were in market 4 months ago, and we've been advertising to them every single day, and you just got them when they clicked on your ad. We've been talking to them for a really long time, so we have the advantage. You can take that list on behalf of your client or yourself for your business anywhere you want. So right now, your Facebook list, that targeted list, you can't do anything with it but stay in Facebook with it. Same thing with your Google. You can retarget people who've landed on your website, sure, but you don't have any control over that either. So with the in-market targeted leads, you actually have a file. And do you know that there are, not just Facebook, not just Google, and everybody knows, Bing, whatever the other search engines are, there are so many places that will create lookalike. Everybody calls them different, but you can take your owned and controlled list and take it to Amazon, and they will build you a lookalike audience. You can take it to LinkedIn and build you a lookalike audience. You can do a lot of things. Now, we said here, any device, online or offline, forever. So that means we not only are online, we can send them an email. We can pick up the phone and call them. We could go knocking on their door if we sell real estate or do something local. We can advertise to them on their laptop, their tablet, their desktop computer, their work computer, their cell phone. So our technology combines the identity resolution with behavioral tracking to produce targeted lists that are guaranteed to be populated by real human beings is number one, not bots, who are exhibiting patterns that match recent buying behaviors. So we know they're buying stuff. Okay, so why is this important for you or for your client? What it does is it's eliminating wasteful ad spend. You're only marketing to the right people. You're only marketing to that 3% where everybody else has to market to everybody. You are automatically driving down your client's cost per acquisition. And it gets better with time. The targeting actually learns. Every time somebody actually makes a purchase, so we predict somebody's in market and then they go ahead and they make that purchase at the end, the machine learning gets smarter every time in real time. So every time somebody makes that purchase, we go back and optimize it. And it makes you immune to the changes in terms and conditions of the ad platforms. So just for example, well, Sue's example about the SEO is obviously one, right? But it's the same thing with the ads. What you can advertise, what you can talk about, what kind of content you can put in front of people. They change their pricing. It's just their terms and conditions change all the time, and you're just at their mercy. They control the power when you are using their platforms and their data. So it gives you the ownership and control of your own most important asset, the custom-built targeting lists of your client's perfect prospects forever. It's yours, and you pay for it only once, right? That is kind of implied here, but every month there's X amount of people in any market that are in market for a particular thing. So say your customer was an auto dealer, and it's a bad example to use auto dealership right now, but if your client was a dentist in Atlanta, there's at any given time in his geographical area, say you want to target, he only wants to see people within 10 miles or whatever, so you pick the zip codes. At any given time, say there's, I don't know, 50, 100, 1,000 people in market for what he sells, veneers, teeth whitening, whatever it is your offer is. Every month, it's pretty predictable, right? So you guys know when you've done SEO in the past, it's a monthly estimate of how many people are in market. So every single month, you're going to get, actually every week, you're getting a new list of who's in market that week. It completely removes all the guesswork. You know who's in market and who's actually buys at the end. We know from the beginning to the end. In Sue's example with the automotive, we know from first click to purchase who buys from our list. We know who's actively pursuing a purchase of what your client sells before anybody else. So this slide is a little bit just of a recap. So the AI knows the people. You own and control your lead, and you take it anywhere. You know the moment someone's in market. So with that profile, the automotive profile, behavioral profile, we know the actual behavior that the majority of people who are buying vehicles do first. I think it's a 67%. Everybody takes the same action, and we know what that is. So it's sort of like a trigger. Some kind of bell goes off in the, I'm a data scientist just like you, Sue, and I'm sure that's what it is. The technical term is a bell goes off. And
it does, yes,
it notifies us, hey, they did this. I think this guy's looking for a car. So we look at him. We look at him and see what he does next. And then when we really see that he takes the first 3, 4, 5 steps in that buying behavior, we throw him on that list, and you get it in your weekly list that you get that guy because we saw his clicks and we know what he's doing. So you know the moment someone's in market, that has a huge advantage over everybody else because you're talking to him first, and you're talking to him for less money because Google, Facebook, they are relevancy engines. So when you're only marketing to people that you know are looking for what you're advertising and what you're talking about, your click-through rate is going to be much better. You're going to have a much higher click-through rate. So Google and Facebook are going to say, wow, this is the relevance score here is like through the roof. So your costs go way down. So you can advertise to these guys for less. than the competitors. You get them first. When you have a lower cost, what can you do with that, right? You could spend more money on advertising. You could offer incentives that nobody else can offer. And at the same time, you can still be more profitable. So you can do more, offer more value, and still be more profitable. The competitors there's no way they can keep up. And you're not at the whim of Facebook or Google. Like I said, you can touch these people everywhere because you own the data. Okay, so let me just show you a couple. We've got a ton of these, so we're just going to buzz through them pretty fast, some of them. But these are actual clients that have used this data, and we're talking about actual outcomes, guys. We've got, and Sue, I'm just going to, I think a couple of these we'll stop and do some highlights, but look at this. 75 mortgage leads were produced in the Phoenix metro area. The average cost of the lead was $40. So the in-market targeting produced an average cost per lead of $20 based on the $3,000 agency fee. So they charged them $3,000. So the actual lead cost was less, but the agency charged them more. So they generated 7 to 8 $4,000 commission sales from their $3,000 fee. So 7 or 8, however many that was, times 4,000. So they made what, $30,000 from their $3,000 investment. You see why we're saying that you're going to be able to charge more and talk to people in a whole different way? Who we got next? Maui Residential RE. So they had a $2. This was a lead gen program that they were running, and they had already gotten themselves to a $2 cost per lead, which, you know, not bad, huh? After they used our leads, 70 cents in less than 21 days. The first 21 days the campaign was running. Now, again, we're going to back up and reiterate that it takes time sometimes to get the targeting right, but we're going to tell you how you're going to be able to shorten that curve later on. Okay? Next one.
I also want to point out they got 571 leads in 21 days. It's just insane.
Just crazy. So this one was a good one because these guys were doing a really good job with their Facebook advertising. They were good. They knew what they were doing. And they were spending $200 per lead before. And we got the cost down to $25 per lead. Isn't that crazy?
That's amazing.
The Chicago gym, this is a great one because I just wanted you guys to see one that's just like a regular. You wouldn't even think that a gym would be a great fit for this because we usually think of, you know, maybe high ticket items that we could charge $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month for, right? But a gym doesn't have a really high ticket item.
So they got a 95% reduction in cost per lead.
In their first 30 days. They had 87 leads.
That's amazing. 28 times the number of leads with a 95% reduction. With the Florida Drug and Alcohol Rehab conversion stats, they had an 88% reduction. I'm just going to buzz through these really fast.
Yeah, we got too many of them in here. We just wanted to show you guys the different niches and the results. They're just all over the place. It's not specific to any one niche. And, oh, yeah, you can do it for e-commerce.
Yeah, exactly. And so one of the questions we had when we did the webinar the other day is this only B2C or it's B2B, B2C? It doesn't make any difference. It works for everything. Video marketing services, 82% reduction in cost per click. So, product number 2, site visitor match.
So, guys, when you start really understand the value of this thing, and this one, the site visitor match is officially rolling out there. They've been testing it for quite a while, and it's officially rolling out in a couple weeks. But this is the thing that's going to change everything in the world. The fact that we can identify who the person is that's visiting our website. It's called first-party data, guys. When you can, right now, when somebody goes to your website or your client's website, they have no idea who they are. There's nothing they can do with them except put up whatever Facebook pixel and retarget to them. But all they have to do with our pixel is show up on the site, and we can match. This is going to be, again, disclaimer, approximately 50% of the people who show up, because we're tracking so many people, we're tracking almost everyone. So we can match, we know who everybody is. So when they show up on your client's website, we know who they are. And how valuable is that to know who's showing up on your website? Because you can, again, with everything we were talking about before, that we can take that data and now we can start doing things like email marketing to them and picking up the phone call and calling them.
Exactly.
Online, offline.
Exactly. And that's the big difference between this and normal retargeting. If you have normal retargeting, you don't know who those people are. You're limited as to how you can retarget them. And with the identity resolution, you know who they are. You can talk directly to them through whatever medium you want to talk to them. And the reason that this is, obviously, the reason that any kind of retargeting is important is because only about 2% of web traffic ever converts on the first visit.
Yeah, and that's just an industry standard on any website. So guys, again, you can do outbound phone calls, mobile advertising, email, direct mail, lookalikes at Facebook, Google, Amazon, LinkedIn. First-party data is worth its weight in gold.
Yep. Do you want to talk about the identity graph?
Yeah, sure. Winnie will behave. So when we're talking about identifying somebody, we're not going to get into the technicalities of it, but the reason it's so difficult to identify someone is because what I said earlier, I have 4 or 5 emails that I use regularly. I have multiple devices. I take all kinds of behaviors. So once we know who you are, we now know at least more than one of your email addresses. We might not know all of them, but we can tell that Fran at Market Domination Solutions is me, and Fran at MSN is me, and Fran at Gmail is me. All those different email addresses and the behaviors that are happening with those addresses are all connected. So it's just a more complete picture of the person. So the identity graph is that online, digital, and soon to be offline profile of what I do, what I'm interested in, where I go, and what I'm about to spend my money on. So we're about to be able to find device IDs. We're about to be able to find, well, not about, we're talking about end of the year, probably Q3 or 4, the geo-targeting, like the location. So we had one client, and this is a perfect example of why this is important. We had one client who was sending people to a landing page from radio traffic. How would you even know who those people were if you couldn't put our pixel on a site? Now, instead of just retargeting them again, we know who that person is, and they came from radio. They didn't click anything. They didn't fill out a form.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so we've talked so much about this, the difference, and I hope you guys aren't still confused about the retargeting, but retargeting is cookie-based, right? Cookies can expire, well, they do expire, and they can be deleted. And as a matter of fact, Facebook, with all the, the big hoopla about everything that happened in politics recently, they are actively telling people how to clear their cookies. So it used to be Facebook would, their cookie would last for 6 months. It may still, but you know how to clear it. And 75% of all cookies expire within 30 days. So we're not knocking Facebook and Google, we use them. It's just not the way that we're doing it now. So with traditional retargeting, it's kind of, was it funny to you, Sue? You're legally blind. You don't know who the person is, right? You have no idea who you're advertising to. And you have channel limitations. What you built with Facebook stays on Facebook. They have all the power. They control the pricing, the terms of service, the policy changes. You can't do anything with that pixel. So you have to build a whole new audience over on Google and a whole new audience over on LinkedIn. Okay? And what a new artificial intelligence powered leads look like is we got some of the same. Oh, this is what it currently looks like. Okay, so we're still talking about current. So again, they can be deleted, limited to their platform, at mercy of their pricing. I think I just had 2 slides talking about the same stuff here. So you're advertising, when you're doing the traditional way of advertising right now, you're advertising to everyone and hoping somebody will raise their hand. That's the important part about this slide. So get that, guys. So everybody, either in your demographic, everybody who shows up to your website that you retarget, everybody in your super high-tech Facebook targeting, they're not all in market. They may be eventually, sometime, someday, but you're marketing to all of them. So with the smart powered leads, the AI powered leads, the cookies they're irrelevant because you own the list. And you're only advertising to people, which is huge. I don't know if you guys have done a whole lot of display advertising or even, Facebook advertising. The bot traffic is crazy. It's ridiculous. You don't know. Some of them can be identified, obviously, but you're still paying for it. So this is guaranteed they're people. You own and control this data. You could take it anywhere, any platform, online, offline. We've said this several times already. Facebook, Google, Amazon, LinkedIn, email, phone, direct mail. We've got some case studies where people actually picked up the phone and called and made sales because they knew these people were ready to buy what they sell. You get to control your messaging as much or as often as needed. And again, only advertise to the people who have already raised their hand by their online behavior. So you get to advertise to the ones that say, I'm ready to buy, while everybody else is advertising to everybody. So chiropractor is advertising to everybody in town because everybody needs a chiropractor, right? Well, maybe they do, maybe they don't, but there are only certain people, the 3%, who are actively looking for a chiropractor right now to solve their problem, their neck pain, whatever it is. And if you can only advertise to the ones who are actively looking for what you sell, your costs are going to be so much lower. Your ad spend is targeted. So the focus and targeting is the key to success here because you've got more resources when it comes time to fight for the client.
And when you have a longer buying cycle, you can get in early. You can get in front of those people at the very beginning. And, what we've taught for years at this point, you get in there in the beginning, you can educate them so that they understand that your products and your solutions are the only viable option for their problem. You have the opportunity to carry on a conversation with them through that advertising, and
that's so important.
Yeah, it makes all the difference.
That and again in our example with the automotive, so your cookie expires in 30 days, but the buying cycle for auto purchases is 4 months. Well, you have to keep building your lists over and over again. You have to keep finding those people again. Once our list is built with people who are in market, we've got it, and you've got them the whole time.
So, obviously, you guys can realize at this point that site visitor match is going to be huge. Some of you are going to choose to only do this, I would imagine. I mean, it's definitely a core of what it is that we've been doing for the last few weeks. You can imagine an e-com store rather than just advertising with what's available today. We talked about retargeting. You can employ some of these aspects as well.
Yeah, guys, so every e-com owner under the sun is going to want to use this service. right now, the only way they have to get back to anybody who shows up at their store is just the basic retargeting, right? They can, if somebody put a product in their shopping cart, it's all happened to us, right? We get emails that offer us specials. Hey, you left something in your cart. If you don't buy it, you get 10% off this week, or you still don't buy it. A couple days later, they offer you 20% off. That's what they've got. They've got the ability to send you an email, and there's some SMS technology. They can push some notifications, but that's it. That's all they can do. If all we do is put our pixel on their site, somebody just shows up on their site, their landing page, wherever, doesn't matter where, they don't even have to click anything, we can resolve their identity. And again, we're at about 50% of identity resolution right now. So if they know exactly who those people are, can you imagine what kind of ROI they can get by identifying them and looking for them in different channels?
So we're going to start training on this strategy now, starting next Tuesday, for the next couple of weeks. That strategy is, we're going to tell you all about it and what you need to do so that you're going to be ready to rock and roll when it rolls out in the beginning of June. But what's available right now is in-market targeting. So let's talk about pricing and strategy for in-market targeting, what we've got going on right now. If you only want the leads, if you only want to know who's in market right now, then every week you get a list. That the price of that is $6.25, and as I said, it's delivered once a week. So that's leads only.
Guys, if you've got,
go ahead.
Yeah, that's leads only. Like if you've got your own good funnel, if you've got a client that does a really good job with conversion, and they just need in-market targeted leads and want to see, like if they're doing Facebook advertising like we did for the cancer center, and they want to see what our leads would do, they could build a lookalike with these. So in that scenario, you would want to just do leads only, right? Not everybody needs the funnel service, but if you don't have a high converting funnel, and for you guys to sell something, it's so, I mean, this thing is, Sue, do you want to do this next part?
Sure. So the DFY full service funnel is, it's still $6.25 for the leads, and then we've got a funnel partner who's the cost on the funnel, the done for you funnel, and these are proven funnels, is $500 to $700, and then you've got the ad spend on top of that. Altogether, that cost comes out to around $3,000. So for $3,000, you have a complete done-for-you solution. You don't have to do anything, right? You go into the system, you put in who your client is, you put in a little bit about your client, you talk to the people who are doing the funnel to make sure that it's tweaked out properly, and then the results of that funnel, those hot leads, go directly to your client or to you if the funnel's for you.
Right. And guys, all those case studies, those are through our funnel partners. So if you actually use the Done For You service, then you can use those. You can talk to your prospects about those case studies, those exact case studies you can use. You obviously can't use them on your own funnels because we don't know what you're going to do. But if you use our funnels, the outsourced funnels, then that's absolutely the results you can expect. And again, every client is going to be slightly different. Every market, they're going to have their own unique selling proposition. They're going to have their own offer. So everything is going to have to be massaged a little bit and optimized. That's why we talk about having like a 90-day kind of a seasoning period. But you saw in a lot of these testimonials, results were almost ridiculously instant. I mean, it takes a good 7 to 10 days just to get the campaign running. If you guys have ever run display ads or any kind of Facebook ads are just almost instant, but running display ads have to get approved. It takes a couple days just to get a campaign up and running, let alone get it seasoned and optimized. So some of these case studies that we have with results that fast are just crazy. So
the other thing that I want to say about this slide, I mean, most of it we already talked about, but this is showing you where you get approximately, if you go in and you charge a client $5K for the done for you service, you're going to get approximately a $2K profit off of that. There was something else I was going to say. Oh, Fran, can you talk for a second about what the because there are like 23 different niches where we have these proven funnels. Can you talk about those for a second?
Yeah, let me rattle off as many as I can remember. So, there's boats, yachts, watercrafts. Obviously, that's the first one I remember because that's the one I'm interested in the most. Because, of course, I want a yacht. Um, Business financial services like merchant services, business loans, campers, RVs. Chiro, we talked about that. Cosmetic surgery like non-invasive procedures, dental, sleep apnea, orthodontics, financial advisors, all the basic, like the local home improvements, waterproofing, siding, that kind of stuff, windows, flooring. HVAC, insurance is a big one. Even things like jewelry stores and legal. I mean, legal is huge. You know how much money there is in legal, and there's at least, I don't know, there were 7, 8, 9 different legal segments. Now, they don't have funnels for all of those, but I know they have, I'm sure there's a personal injury funnel and maybe a bankruptcy funnel. There's women's health, hormone clinics, that kind of thing. Minimally invasive surgery, weight loss is a big one. Mortgages, so, gosh, I'm not even getting them all. Wedding events, senior elder care, roofing, rehab. We're doing something in rehab right now, and real estate. I forgot about real estate.
Oh my goodness!
And there's all kinds of segments in the real estate side too, and the mortgage side. So there's a lot of, like, you know how targeting is. I mean, everybody here has done keyword research. You know you've got to be focused. So there's a lot of segments inside the niches.
Dang, that's amazing. You got my head going in 1,000 different directions now. All right, so let's say you got a potential client. Let's talk for a minute about what exactly it is that you have to do. So obviously, the first thing, you got to do the pitch and the close, starting with everything that we've shared with you so far today. And there's more in the training, and we have a Facebook group so that we can sort all this stuff out. You want to have a relationship with the client. It's not just a single call close, and it's a process of educating your prospects and letting them see for themselves what the opportunity is here. You don't have to sell. You're just doing an education thing. So once you've got the entire sequence of the conversation, including a 4-video sequence, which we have for you, there's all kinds of material that you can use and repurpose in your presentations and in your website and in the marketing that you're going to do. Once you have all of that stuff together, you can formulate the pitch so that you're comfortable with it, and you can let the client familiarize themselves with the information. So all you're going to have to do, really, honestly, all you have to do is express the unique value that you're giving to them.
So, guys, you just got to get comfortable with understanding. So this is a lot. It's a lot of new stuff. So don't let I know so many people say they're afraid to sell, they don't like selling. We're not selling you anything right now. We literally want you to understand what is happening in the marketplace and how it's going to affect you. And if you get that, which the only way we're ever going to be able to do any business with you is if you get the value, right? So if you get that and you really believe in it and you can talk about it with somebody, it's not selling, it's just having communication, having a relationship. And that's all you have to do is to believe in it and talk to somebody about it. And then we've got all kinds of resources for you to do that. I mean, the videos, we literally just send them in an email. And after a quickie, like, first call, if they're interested enough to take the next step and watch your video, we let the videos give them the pitch. And they're taking an action that shows that they're interested. So there's a whole sales psychology about the relationship building, but it's just about building trust. It's about you giving them value, teaching them about what's going on in their own business that they don't even necessarily know about, and letting them decide and see that what you have is something that they need.
Yep. And I've sat down and talked to people, and as I explain what's going on, I watch the light bulb go on in their eyes, and they're like, how can I get started with this? Like, it is the simplest explaining, because again, I don't sell, but it is the simplest explaining that I have ever had. So, and if you stick to the 25 or the 23 niches that she was just talking about, or we've got done for you funnels, you don't have to worry about the delivery. Like, that is the part that is just super cool to me. And I just heard weddings this time for the first time, and I tell you what, like, when you think about weddings, there's only like 40 different providers in a single wedding, right? You've got cakes, you've got photography, you've got hair, you've got makeup. There's literally a dozen different people that support weddings, different niches, different markets, right? So like, yeah, as I said, my head's just going crazy. That was bad. Like, let's get back to the slide deck. Sorry. Yeah, so what we just said, we don't sell either. Like, we totally don't sell. All you got to understand is the power of what the system is, and you can be successful at this. So we've got some more slides, and this one is a mortgage broker. And during the first 30 days of using the in-market leads, an established broker, a mortgage company, generated. This is in Illinois. They were able to produce an ROI of 2,567% for the client, and just like, that's just an astounding slide to me. We've got medical malpractice. They had a 17x increase in click-to-call rate. We've got roofing with a 400% during the first 30 days. They had a... Oh. Sorry, I was looking at something else. During the first... yeah, I got the wrong information on the wrong slide. Sorry, confusing myself. So the roofing had a 400% increase in conversion rate. Cool Sculpting had an 1,800% increase in conversion rate. So this should give you some ideas about some places that you might want to think about going after.
Go back to that cool sculpting one and read the call-in rate.
The call-in rate, 38% of leads called in for appointments on a $900 procedure. $900. They're spending $1,000. Wow.
So how many sales does it take for them to get their money back from what you're doing? Like, when you're going after these guys that are selling the higher ticket stuff, one sale, two sales, and you're covered.
Yeah.
So guys, this is not a difficult thing. That's why you don't have to worry about, trying to run around making $300 per sale for this video gadget you just learned about yesterday.
Oh
it's just
my gosh.
bullshit.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it just takes you into completely different, like, out of the rat race is the way that I look at it. You have just removed yourself from the rat race. Connecticut Chiropractor got a 300% increase in conversion. Their cost per leads dropped from $62 to $21. Do we need more? We have a few more slides. Fran got a little slide crazy here. Boat salesman, almost 36,000% increase in ROI. Oh my goodness gracious. So
that could be my absolute favorite case study, because this is just a regular boat salesman. It's just a guy who sells boats. It's not the owner of the business. He spent $1,000 on leads, and this is what he did. He made, what was that, $360,000.
And it was in 8 weeks, and it was in the middle of winter.
In New York or something, New York City, yeah. In New York, in the winter, a boat salesman. This is one of the guys, he like picked up the phone and called people, I think. Can't remember if he emailed or he called. One of them, I think this was the one, he picked up the phone and called and wanted to educate people on buying a boat. That was it.
Financial planner, 300% increase in conversion rate. Business consultant, 500% client ROI from the campaign. The conversion on the lowest cost product is $1,000. So let's talk for a second about what you're going to get in the product that we're offering today. You get in on the ground floor. This is going to be a closed group. We've got this open for about a week. And then at the end of that point, we're closing the door on the alpha group. And the stuff that we're offering to the alpha group, we're not offering to anybody else. Like, you guys are going to get so many more bells and whistles. When/if we open this up again in 2 to 3 months, as we've got all of the bells and whistles on and everything's polished and ready to go, it's not going to be the same product. It's going to be a much higher price, and it's not the same product. You guys, you basically get to be in business with us. Okay? First of all, it's going to be a private Facebook membership group. We're going to have webinars, training, and Q&A, and they're going to be regular. I'm not going to say, once a month or once a week, because like, as we were looking at what it is that we need to cover, there's going to be sometimes when they're more frequent, and then there's going to be sometimes when they're more spread out. So, and in addition to that, our joint venture partners also have training webinars. So there's going to be, we're going to try and, like, as we bring on a new product, we're going to make sure that you guys understand how to use it and that everybody's up to speed and you understand how it integrates with everything else. And then we'll give you a little bit of time to get your head wrapped around that. So
yeah, be strategic about it and be able to apply what you're using. So
exactly.
We're not going to overwhelm you.
So as I said, I'm looking for an integrated dashboard, a single point of entry where we can do everything it is that we need to do to be able to do fulfillment for ourselves and for our clients, right? So in addition to that, we've got some really interesting deals. So some of these things that we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating platforms using this artificial intelligence, not just the dashboard that I'm talking about, but we're going to be creating like a community type product, or we've got, I don't know, like about 12 different products in mind that we want to create. And you guys are going to be able to either use for your own products or services, or you're going to be able to sell small businesses, sell into the products. So that's like super exciting and still just a bit spitball, and I don't want to make this webinar more confusing than it already is. So just know that there's a plethora of other opportunities that we've got planned that are coming into this, and that's for this group only, right? This isn't like when we go down the road and we remarket that's not included. If they get opportunities to it all, it's at a whole other price point and a whole other thing and different products and yada yada.
Right. So guys, I just want to put a exclamation point on this. So the first partner that we're rolling out, his product, and I think I know you have it on the slideshow, but his product alone is, like, besides the technology, but what it would take to get in it if you weren't in our program is more than what you're going to be spending for this. So anything after this is just like, icing on the cake and whatever other word you want to use.
Right. That's actually point 8. His product, his licensed product, the license for his product is $12,000 a year. So that's all getting waived because you're part of this.
With a big chunk of it up front, like the majority of it up front.
Yeah. We're going to show you how you can create your own AI-powered platforms where you can market your own products or market your services. There's no programming required in that. We're creating stuff that's all plug and play. And as alpha members, you're getting all the AI training services we create, all of the deals that we broker with all of our strategic partners, everything that's going to be integrated and a part of the dashboard. Did I cover everything?
Yeah, sorry, I thought you had covered everything when I jumped in there. I thought you were moving to the next slide. So yeah, I think you got everything.
Okay, good. So the AI application suite. First, let's talk in market. Let's just cover some of the concepts that are going to be, like, if you break your marketing down into 2 parts where you've got people who are in market and then you've got people who are in funnel. The in market side of the table, right? We've got content creation, we've got content marketing, and we've got social media engagement. So all of those things have got new AI aspects, new programs that are coming out that are AI based. We've got smart pixels, we've got people based marketing, which we talked about today, we've got smart links, and we've got identity resolution. So all of that stuff is included on the in market side of the house. So I'm not like, if you stop and think about your marketing as a whole, we talked today a lot about in marketing leads and identity resolution, and you could do just that. But if you also want a website, if you also want an authority website, then it would be ever so helpful to have some AI content creation, right? Because what it's really good at, like, you'd still want to craft your landing pages, but the information pages underneath your landing pages, what I'm looking at with that AI content, it could craft all of that. So you could have literally a 10,000 page authority whomping site, and you know, that helps explain everything to everybody. It helps get you good rankings. It helps get you in front of people. You can have all of that content pushing through your social media. I wouldn't roll it out on all 10,000 pages in one day, right? Like, I'd roll it out in a sensible manner. And that's where, like, the training's going to come in. We're going to talk about how to make best use of this, what you want to do, how fast you want to roll it out, and how you want to have everything set up before it rolls out. This is the next evolution forward from everything that we've learned before. So that's where all of
these are services that you can do for yourself, but also for your clients, right? So if they need content creation, you've got these tools.
Exactly. And then the in-funnel stuff. We've got smart leads. We've got identity resolution. We've got the AI email. We've got the voice assistants. Amazing voice assistants. That's like the Alexa and the Google Home stuff. We've got smartphone retargeting, and then we've got the AI customer journey tracking. Right? So that's where I'm looking at this whole big picture, and I'm like, we need a dashboard, we need some sanity. So that's the suite. In addition to that, just when you thought that was everything, we've got...
we should be one of those marketers, but there's more.
But wait, there's more. It slices, it dices, it juliennes. We've got...
works occasionally.
We've got... there's still non-artificial intelligence applications that you're going to need. You're still going to need competitor information. You're still going to need keywords. And this will also help you find your potential prospects. So we're going to have... tabs within the platform for all of that good stuff too. Oh, and a CRM, right? Because you got to have glue that holds everything together. So, how do you get in? We've got several different methodologies. We've got Stripe, we've got PayPal. You can use the PayPal credit option, and there's also Cabbage Loan. And all of these things are going to be available on AI-disruption.marketing. That's the sales page. All right. So what's the pricing? It was apparently on the sales page, the pricing is a little bit difficult to understand. It's $19.97 for the first month. That's also called the trial period, right? Because that's just the verbiage that the software wants to use. So the first month, it includes a setup fee, because a lot of the stuff that we're doing with our JV partners is very manual. So it's $19.97 for the first month, and then it's $14.97 per month thereafter. And I said that includes all of the licensing fees. You don't get any of the data. We talked about the data earlier for the in-market leads. That's on a per campaign basis. So that's an additional fee to this. And there's going to be other places, like you're going to get so many AI articles per month, but if you want to do 1 million articles in a month, you're going to need a few more credits than what we're going to give you. So there's going to be a basis of everything that's covered in that price point. If you go beyond that, if you've got 50, 60, 100, 200 clients, which you could easily handle with the stuff that we've got in here. Like, this is the first time where I've gone, wow, we could actually have a good number of clients, and it would be, not a train smash. You wouldn't need an entire plethora of minions in order to be able to do this. So...
Right. I mean, with the done-for-you stuff, with just this one partner that we've got, I mean, you could literally have hundreds of clients.
Exactly.
Just
So
with that one, and again, it's okay. It's just the craziest thing that I've ever seen in my entire life, and I'm excited as all get out.
yeah, yeah, me too. So there's another data provider out there for in-market leads that um, that doesn't have nearly the offering that we've got going on, and they're charging $10,000 a month right up. Just so that you guys have an idea, right?
Yeah.
So when we
And
open,
they don't do anywhere near what the in-market leads do, let alone everything we're doing in the members area. It's just
exactly.
it's crazy.
So I know when we open up again in 60 to 90 days, when we open up the platform, it's going to be a minimum of $5,000 a month. But if you guys get in today and you don't unsubscribe, you'll be grandfathered in at the $14.97. So that's it. That is the pitch. And this is where we would stop and ask for questions if we had people actually on the webinar. Do you have anything else you want to add to this before we close it out, Fran?
No, yeah, I guess I do. I just guys, if you really don't get, like, if we didn't explain the value of $1,500 a month, if you're going, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Who can afford that? If you don't get that value, go do some research. Go look up things like people-based marketing. Go look up in-market leads. Go look up artificial intelligence. See just the massive sea of information and the opportunity and everything that's out there, and re-listen to this webinar and really try to just get at least one or two of the concepts. Like, literally, just one of the concepts is enough to make you well more than what the monthly recurring is going to be, just with this one partner, not even all the rest of the stuff we're bringing inside. So look at those case studies. Those are real. Those are not just made up like slides. They're real. They're real clients that are still with us, and you'll get, again, we can't guarantee anything. You've got to bring clients on board that, that can close something, right? If you bring your local dentist that comes in and I don't know, maybe he doesn't have teeth of his own. We can't guarantee. We don't know who your client is, so we don't know if he can actually close a sale. But if you stick with people who do a good job, right? If they have a nice business and they do a good job, this is going to help them, and you're going to be successful.
Yeah, if you're looking at businesses that make, let's say, roughly around $1 million a year, those businesses have to spend money in order to get to that point and to stay at that point and want to grow, right? So we had somebody come in to this program yesterday, I think it was. He's got one client who's built up to $1 million. He's doing $6,000 a month in ad spend right now. And that's just an ad spend. That doesn't include what our members charging on top of that for the service that's being provided. It's just $6,000 in flat in ad spend. So that ad spend with this program is going to drop to around $3,000. It's going to be just as effective, probably more effective, because you saw those slides where the cost actually goes down and the conversion goes up, right? So for $3,000.
Right, because right now they're advertising to everybody in town, and we're not going to say the niche, but it's one of the niches that's on our list, and they're advertising right now to everybody in town who owns a home, basically. And they're probably targeting by income level. That's it. They don't know if those people are in market for what they sell. So the cost is absolutely going to go down.
And with that one client, he can come into this program, and after 30 days, he's going to be able to take a good chunk of that money. He doesn't have to change the price that he's charging his client, but after 30 days, he's going to have such a drop in what it's costing him. He's going to be able to save money. He's going to pay the money to get in, and the monthly after that, and he's still going to have money that he's going to be able to fold over and stick in his pocket. And that's just one client.
And I know his intention. He's gonna pass along savings to the client as well, and still be more profitable. So absolutely, guys.
Exactly. So if you're The one thing that I heard from many of the members, either at the end of the webinar or in my inbox since then, is that all of their clients are in the $500 to $1,500 range, and they don't understand how they can get their current client base into this program. So that's where I said you're going to want to think about your business model. This allows you to actually change your business model, where you have a tough time selling SEO at above India prices, and you have a tough time trying to sell the leads. I clue you what. So like for a year and a half, I have gone through every conceivable method of trying to find leads, and they all suck. They're all old and stale. They don't convert for jack, right? We've spent literally tens of thousands of dollars on leads and just come up with hay. It's not that we didn't have a close here and there, but it was pathetic. For the amount of money that we spent, our ROI sucked. And
guys, even for those smaller clients, if they have websites, which they obviously have to have, the new site visitor match is going to be perfect for them. So that's a thing where you're paying per. We didn't even go into that model, but it's a pay per resolution. So it's a pay per person they identify, and it's going to be something silly, like it's going to cost you whatever. I don't know what he's going to charge us. He hasn't even come up with the model because he doesn't know exactly what it's going to cost him. But
it's somewhere around 7 cents.
Yeah, it's going to be in that range, and then you sell it to your client the data for 12 cents. So if you can imagine having a client with a lot of traffic on their site, but the ones right now, the clients that you have, that's just a no-brainer. It's just going to be some extra income for you and some extra value for him or her. But if you think about that identity resolution for sites that have a lot of traffic, that's some serious income, and that's a super easy sell.
It's that's going to be sell because they're already interested in that product. They're already on your website. They've already been introduced to you. Yeah, super easy sell. So
and guys, if you're at all interested in doing this, and you can do it, get in as soon as possible, because it's manual setup and it's first come first serve, and you want to be in so that you can get on the webinars next week, Tuesday, Thursday, and then Tuesday again, or at least get the replays, because that's where the training is going to be right before the launch of that site visitor match.
Absolutely. Excellent. All right, guys. AIDisruption.marketing is where you need to go. You might already be there watching this video, and if you are, then just down below you're going to see the sign up button, and we're constantly adding more stuff to the members area, and we've got the Facebook group starting to rock and roll, and we will see you guys on the inside. Thanks so much for all your time, Fran. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today and for sticking through all the way to the end of this video.
Thanks, Sue. Thanks, everybody. Look forward to working with you guys and dominating the world with artificial intelligence.